Hey everyone, it's Matt from Akuma Mods. Today we have a new resin printer to unbox, set up, and give our first initial impressions. This is the Nova Elfin 3D resin printer. I've been trying to get my hands on this and I finally got one, so let's get into it. Trusty knife. Take this down a peg. Note to self, always cut away. Excuse me. Alright, I think we're good with that. Okay, so opening the box, we have our typical foam insulations, padding, whatever you want to call it. It is boxed pretty well, so already right out of the gate we have a cup. This is super useful. I'm really glad that they decided to include that because I've been needing one of these. I haven't had a chance to go and get one, so that's nice that I now have one. So when you open it, always look inside of your whatever this is, packing, and make sure that there's nothing hidden inside of it, because most of the time there is. Let's see what this says. This looks like the vat. Okay. Maybe a replacement vat. What it looks like. So it looks like it's got gaskets. This is a plastic vat, it looks like. So we'll have to take a look at the actual vat and see. But I'm pretty sure this is just a replacement. So there is a considerable amount of give. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm not digging that too much. Usually it's not supposed to have that much of play. But we'll have to see how it looks when we're all done with it. Got another box here. Obviously, power cord. A spritzer bottle. That's really cool to have. Usually, I'm guessing what they want you to do with this is to load it up with isopropyl alcohol. And what I usually do sometimes is I'll spray down the build plate once I'm done if I'm changing colors. And that'll help just kind of rinse off the plate. So you get it all done. Our typical Chinese side cutters that come with almost all printers. Toss that away. We have our filters, gloves, SD card. This is branded by Nova3d. I did notice that it said 8 gigs, but on this it's saying 4. Not the end of the world. We usually don't load up more than a couple prints at a time. Plastic scraper, not a big fan of these. I prefer the metal ones, but I know why a lot of people don't like the metal ones. This kind of worries me a little bit. Maybe some assembly required. Looks like a couple different sets of screws. All Allen head, pan head, I think these are. I think I'm saying I'm wrong, because there is different ones in there, but there's different Allen screws, and then a handful of Allen keys, and then obviously our power brick. So before we do anything else, let's go ahead and hook this bad boy up really quick, and then we'll get the printer out. Just because I want to get this up and running and get it out the door. Alright, so there's that. We're going to go ahead and plug that bad boy in. We got a green light, we're good to go. Alright, now time for the actual printer. I don't suggest lifting it up by the bag here. I do suggest lifting it a little bit so you can get your hands underneath the base and then grabbing the actual whole printer, because this can obviously slip right out of your hands, which this is proving to be difficult to get out because it seems to be packed very well. we're going to do it a little differently. We're going to open this up. We're going to grab the vat. Or, I'm sorry, not the vat, the cover. Really, really cool looking cover. It's kind of like an oval shape. If you guys are car guys, this kind of looks like a rotary engine, you know? So there is some styrofoam on here, so we're just going to use some of our air duster to clean it off here. Apologies for the loud noises. Of course, it's going to stick to everything it wants to, because this is super staticky. Move all that stuff over. Okay, so there's that. Some more foam. And we're going to see if we can try and lift this out of the box now. There we go. So it's pretty well packed. It's attached very well to the bottom packing thing here. So good that I can't really get it out too easily. So that's kind of good that it's packed very well. All right, so we're all good with that. We're gonna toss that box out of the way. Take off our plastic here. Alrighty. Put you on the floor for right now. Okay, so we have two pieces of foam, and then there's a foam that holds the Z. Again, there's nothing really in there. We're going to toss those off to the side. They did say in the manual that it is automatically set up and leveled, ready to go out of the box. Like I said, since there is some packing stuff, we're going to have to clean this up. So if you guys are getting this printer, I do suggest having a bottle of air off or some sort of duster, something that can blast air across it to get all the foam off of it, because this is very sticky. Again, my apologies for the loud noises, but we need to get all this stuff off of here because we don't want it inside of our resin. That'd be bad. Okay, so again, it kind of keeps with the strange, I don't even know what to call that shape. I'll be honest, I'm not that smart in shapes, so I don't even know what the shape is called, but anyway, we'll keep it at the rotary, okay? Well, let's just keep it at that, I know that. So it looks like this has had some fingerprints on it, so maybe they did a test print. There is some cover on the LCD screen. That looks like a very nice LCD screen already. I really dig these type of power buttons. I have them on my Hias, and they just feel very nice. I know they're kind of cheaper power buttons, but they at least look better than some of the ones where it's just like a flip up and down on and off switch. Whole base looks like it's pretty much metal from what I can tell. That's plastic, but I don't think the whole thing is plastic. It looks like it's a sandwich to basically make it look pretty. So the build plate is actually aluminum, and these 4 screws right here butt that up against this plastic piece to make it look fancy. That's pretty much it. So looks like we got some cooling ports on the back here. So this is Wi-Fi. It does have Wi-Fi ability, so that's a nice thing to have. It's funny because this kind of looks like more or less a trident than it does a USB symbol, but so we have a USB. Not really sure what that's for. Maybe an exterior fan we can plug in. Maybe even an access port for upgrading or doing maintenance on, or just something of that sort, maybe specific to the board. And then our Ethernet port and power reset. So everything that we need is on the back here. This is just very strange to me because there's 4 screws, 2 on each side. They're not screwed all the way down. I don't know if they're supposed to be, or they're just supposed to look like that. It's very strange looking to me. Don't know. But anyway, let's go ahead and get this all hooked up and let's get it started. And you know what? We'll so in buying this printer, they also have a promo where you can add a 250 milliliter bottle of resin, and it is a clear green, kind of like the Anycubic photons come with, just a smaller size. They come with a 250 milliliter. So what you do is you buy this printer, at least through Amazon, this is how it's set up. You buy this printer, add this resin, and then when you go to check out, it automatically deducts this resin. Which, in all reality, if it doesn't, I think this retailed at like $12. Currently, this printer, I just checked it right now on Amazon as I'm making this video, December 3rd. The current price of this printer is $359 US on Amazon right now. So that's about $100 more than what most people compare it to as the Elegoo Mars. So we'll have to see about how the print quality is, how everything stacks up. But let's get this rocking and rolling. Okay. So we have power. There we go. A little different. It's not a proper? No, I forget the name of the switch, but it's not a click switch. It's a hold down. So very nice startup screen. Very nice splash. I'm guessing this might be powered by a Raspberry Pi. I will have to take a look at this when I get it all set up. It is a very unique vat design. If you guys can see that, usually the vat is held down by two parts right here, one on each side that just kind of screw down. Now there are screw balls right here, but it's very strange how it locks in, because instead of it holding down like this, it actually locks into place like that. So it's a very, very interesting way on doing things for sure, from what it looks like. Yeah, so we got locks and locks. It's actually a very interesting design, I will say that much right now. So yeah, let's just browse the system really quick, okay? We'll do printing task. Okay, there's nothing in there. Let's go back. File management. This is a very large looking screen. I don't think it's much bigger than like an Elegoo, but I could be wrong. It looks very nice, at least, the setup. So it looks like we have an octopus.cws and a Nova3d test.cws. Then obviously we have some stuff on the USB drive. Printing control. Okay, so this is to calibrate, move your platform SLC settings. So that's slicer settings. So again, I usually don't really look too much into what these printers do. This one I kind of did a little information about, like comparing it, price and what it's got compared to an Elegoo Mars, to be in all honesty, because that's really going to be like the one to beat, because everybody and their brother wants to have an Elegoo Mars, and there definitely are better printers out there, and that's what I'm kind of showcasing, that yeah, with a little bit of extra money you can probably get a better printer and better setup all around, and you know, have a better printing experience than the Elegoo Mars. The Elegoo Mars is pretty much like your starter printer. This would definitely be a step up already, just because of what it has on board of it. So anyway, so yeah, bottom layers, bottom exposure, normal exposure, print speed. We'll have to get into that in another video, but more or less this is just going to be basic setups and everything, and we're going to do a test print, and then I'll come back around about a week later and do my full-on review of like the good, the bad, and what things can be changed on it, and what I like about it. So we have printing control, reset, calibration. Okay, that's all good. System settings, click start to light up the LCD. Okay, so that's the setup for that. Okay, so here's our Wi-Fi, and we can also have it wired too. So that's really nice. Let's see if it's got an onboard keyboard. So we're going to go and click on mine. Confirm. So that's very nice. This is already nice because it has that onboard keyboard. So I can already go ahead and connect this to my Wi-Fi. So we're going to do this really quick. Sorry, I'm going to hide it from you. And it looks like it is set up just for 2.4 gigahertz. So that's its maximum capacity for connecting stuff. Okay, so I think we have a registered IP address. We're going to go ahead and back out. Let's go into System Settings, Network. No, looks like it didn't take. Oh, wait, nope, there we go. So we got an IP address already set up. And like I said, I'll play with that later on another video. I just more or less wanted to do first initial impressions and everything like that. We're going to load this in. Let's see what's on here as well. Let's go into File Management. Let's go to USB file. So we have English and then Chinese.zip. So pretty much what's on the USB that they give you looks like probably an instruction manual, I would guess. We'll have to look into that and see what it actually is. But that's kind of nice that there is onboard storage. So that makes me think, again, there is a Raspberry Pi inside of here. And if that's the case, we're going to be using DLP, nano DLP for our online stuff. And pretty much the use of Sheet2Box is not needed. It should have its own slicer. In fact, I'm pretty sure it does because it has the slicer settings on here. So that's really nice that it does have all that stuff. And this is going to be our image printing task. So let's go ahead and we're going to lift the platform because there is foam. And the manual did say that there's a film cover over the LCD screen as well. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move up 50. Very strange sound. It's not your normal resin printer sound. It sounds like... It almost sounds like a dentist drill, but on a very, very low frequency. Like, you know how high the frequency those things get? That's what this kind of sounds like, going up at least. So some people might not like that sound very much, but we'll have to see. So we'll lift this up a little bit more. Okay, so we got a foam pad in between the resin tank and that. So they did a really nice job packaging this stuff. So, like I said, this is a drop-in. This is all plastic, this vat. Unfortunately, I don't think other vats will work with this, which is kind of a downside, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, it's kind of good to have your own stuff, but it's nice that I can just use, other stuff with other printers. But again, not the end of the world. We're not gonna be picky here. So this vat is definitely much better. So I'm wondering, once we tighten it up, that this laziness will go away. If not, we might have to readjust that and redo it. So definitely a cool locking mechanism. So as you can see, there's 2 tabs here, 2 tabs here. These slide back and forth to lock the mechanism in place, the vat in place, instead of screwing it down. So it's definitely a different way of doing it. Very interesting way of doing it. Oh, that looks real nice. I like this color setup. It's like it kind of looks like dentistry, actually, now that I'm looking at it. It looks like something I would see in my dentist's office. So maybe that's what they are going for. With that being said, also, I will be getting some wax resin from them as well to test it out and see how that goes. So when you are putting this vat back in, you want to make sure that the tabs are facing the back end of the printer, because if you have it facing the front end, well, they're not going to lock in because they're slotted a certain way. So, not the end of the world. It's just something new. You got to figure it out. Oop. And we're going to lock these down. Let's see what that is. Okay. Sorry, there's just something inside the vat that's catching my eye here really quick. I don't know if it's stuck on resin or something else. Might not just be anything that's going to be a hindrance for me. So, all right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get a test print going. So, as of right now, it's a really nice, very quiet printer. If there is fans, and let's take a look here, because I do have my air filtration system here. There is a fan on here. I can barely even hear that. In fact, I hear more of my desktop fan than I do anything else. Yeah, maybe it's activated only when it starts using it, but let's go ahead and get our fancy gloves on. That probably won't fit me because they're small hands usually. And on top of it, I'm very toasty down here. Surprised it actually fits. If it does not fit, you must have quit. One thing I wanted to take off and see was this build plate. Do I have to take that all the way off? No. Not really. So this is our build plate. It's not like a shiny surface like you would see on the Anycubic or really pretty much any other resin printer. It's a matte finish. So, but it is very nice. It's all plastic, very nice, presentable looking. So at least in that term, it is. It looks like a very, very nice model that is set up here. So. That back down. Okay. Little smelly, not too bad. So one of the, it seems like everybody has their own like little niche thing. They provided a funnel. I like Elegoo because they provided this little cup, and basically it measures 100 milliliters of resin, which for the most part, that's what you're going to need for your first model. So we're going to go ahead and pour out 100 milliliters of the resin. And that should be more than enough to get you started going on pretty much any print that you're doing. And really, it might even be overkill for a test print, but we'll see how it goes. So this stuff is pretty jelly looking. And what I like about it is because it has that little pourer on it, we can have it like that. Very cool looking. It's a nice green. Okay. So let's go ahead and get our file management, and let's see. Should we do the Nova3d test or should we do an octopus? let's do one first, and then we'll do the other. So what's nice about this also is it tells you how much resin it's going to take before you even press that file. Now, I don't know if this is set up the specific way, like they coded it in when they went to go save the test file, or because it has a built-in slicer, it will tell you how much resin you need. So obviously, we already have more than enough resin for both of these tests. So let's go ahead and we'll click that one. We'll hit play. Please check if the LCD screen and resin tank are clean. We have done that. And so it's parsing file. And it's printing. So this does have a pretty beefy linear rail. Like all the other printers I have very thin rails. This thing is probably twice the thickness of it. It's literally a metal bar. Like it's beefy. And it is pre-lubricated, ready to rock and roll. Not saying that the other ones don't have lubrication on them out of the factory, but this one definitely does. I really like this look of the entire printer. I really, really dig it. So let's go ahead and put this on. So it is a pretty tall printer. I'd say it's probably about the size of an Anycubic Photon, so a little bit taller than the Elegoo. Basically, I'm going to base this off of the Elegoo Mars because it's the closest thing to it. So in terms of price, yes, it's $100 more. But what do you get with that extra $100 over the Elegoo? Well, you are not locked into what they call a CBD board, which is the Shi2 box board. I believe this does have a Raspberry Pi inside of it. I cannot confirm that until I look into the printer, and we'll do that once we're done printing the 2 test prints. But basically, we'll do that probably in the next week here, once I'm done printing everything and getting it all ready. But as of right now, I think this is a really, really good, nice-looking printer for the price. At $359, that's really good. Like, the other closest printer to it in that price range would be the Anycubic Photon or the Longer Orange 30. And while they have a reputation behind both of those, and this one is still very, very new, with what this I'm pretty sure comes with, like I said, I'm pretty sure it comes with a Raspberry Pi. If that is the case, this is going to probably be a better buy than both of those printers, as well as an Elegoo Mars. For the extra $100, you have that onboard slicer. You have the ability to connect through Wi-Fi or wired. It has USB, and it does have a local file system on it as well. So that means that when you log into the printer, there's going to be a storage system. So I'm not sure how much the onboard storage is. I would probably guess maybe that's the 8 gigabyte that it has. And if that's the case, that's a lot of file storage for a printer. And again, if it is a Raspberry Pi and you want to get into the printer, you can always upgrade that to whatever you really want. So you can have a ton of files on there. Not that you really need it, but it's nice to have that ability where you could just be like, hey, to your buddy Bill, hey, I got a resin printer. What do you want printed? Oh, well, you wanted a Star Wars helmet. Hey, well, I got that loaded on here. I'll just click play. I just got to scroll through and find it. That's it. So it is very nice. All in all, I really like the look of the printer. Like I've said before, it is definitely different looking than most of the printers that I've dealt with. So in terms of speaking that way, I've dealt with the Elegoo Mars, the SparkMaker, the Haiya SQ1, the Haiya SQ3. the longer orange 30, the Anycubic Photon, Anycubic Photon S, and the G-Tech DP200. So out of all those printers, this is probably the most nicest looking one out of all of those. Whereas those are more like, they look like machines. This looks like something you would see like almost as if Prusa made it. You know, like I don't really want to say that, but it's true. It looks corporatized. It looks fancy. It looks like something you wouldn't see in somebody's workshop. So if you're not someone that likes all the bells and whistles and everything, then by all means, go ahead and get a different printer. But as of right now, it's a very interesting, unique design, and it works. It works well. It's definitely really, really interesting. But I like the screen a lot. It's very nice for a touchscreen. It doesn't look like your basic cheap touchscreen. The only one that I would say that's close to this in touchscreen wise would be the longer orange. And that's just more or less because it displays all the information on it, but it is still a very basic screen. So whereas this is a very nice, vibrant screen. It looks very professional looking. It looks like, you know, your phone that would be printing something. So it is, it's very cool looking, and it gives you all your information. So we're printing at 0.05 millimeters. We're on layer 13 of 1,000. I'm guessing the resin maybe 100%. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Maybe it's a resin sensor. I'm not sure. We can pause, stop it. It gives us our ETA time, so approximately 4 hours till this is done. It's a long time for a test print, but that's usually how it goes. I think the Anycubic I did with the Lattice Cube was 6 hours, so I'm not sure what this is going to print. Maybe a plaque or something. We'll see. But it's really nice, the system that it's set up. It's a very simple, basic setup. So where you could have your local file, your USB, all your information for your slicers, your calibration, everything. So it's just all right there in front of you. So it's really, really cool. Then you could also change the language on this. Like, this is really, really cool. And then it gives you all your hardware information, version. And this is probably the software upgrades and everything that it has done over the time. So very, very nice. The one thing that's a little wonky for me is the button, because I'm used to like a clickable button, whereas this you press and hold it in, it'll turn on, and then you go from there. It's not like it clicks in. It's a momentary switch. I believe that's what it's called. So you click it and it powers on, and then you let it go and it stays in that position. Then when you turn it off, you click it again, and then it pops back out at you. I believe that's called a momentary switch. Couldn't think of the name of it. But yeah, this is definitely not. This is more like a reset button kind of thing. So for our fellow gamers on the channel. But yeah, all in all, so far it's a pretty cool looking printer. I'm ecstatic about this printer because a lot of people want to get their hands on it. A lot of people want to know some information about it. Thankfully, I'm here to do that, and any information that you guys want, I can try and provide to you as best as I can, because I'm going to be working with this printer for the next week, maybe even week and a half. We'll have to see how much of printing we need to do, but I really want to put it through its paces and see what it can output, how good it can do, and see what some of the quirks are of it, and see if maybe I can throw them Nova some ideas of like, hey, this is great, but maybe you might want to change this or that or what have you, and maybe improve it a little bit. But as of right now, this is probably one of the nicer looking printers, and it's pretty much set up, ready to go. I don't really see any problems with it right out of the gate. With most of the printers that I have reviewed, there's some little problems here and there, nothing usually major, but right now this is a set up and go. It's a very, very nice printer. Not saying that we won't have issues down the line, because obviously it's a printer. It's going to have issues. Who knows? This print might even fail. No idea. But we're going to see how it goes. So if you guys are interested in more videos on the Nova Elfin 3D printer, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell as well. And give this video a thumbs up if you liked what you guys seen. And I'll get you guys some good videos, and probably come the next time that we do videos, we're going to have a different camera setup with different angles, because I have my PC built now. I'm just waiting on a new monitor, and we're going to get up some different angles for printing. So we're going to be having some up-close shots and all kinds of different things. So we're not going to just be shooting from my phone like I have been. So definitely stay tuned for that. We're going to get real technical on this channel with view angles and whatnot. So until then, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell, and until next time, happy printing.